Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It's very funny that certain countries think that they have the moral authority to tell everybody else what to do and when to do. And the other countries, the rest of the world, should not and could not tell these countries, which are about five, cannot tell them what to do. Actually, they're about three or maybe four. And they use words as I urge or immediately or something like that. And it's funny because those countries have no power over some countries, but they still do it. In this case, we have France telling Russia something. And yes, Russia doesn't give a that one. But anyway, they will say it because they can't help it. So in this case, this comes from Emmanuel Macron. The article is from Republic World from today, August 23rd. Emmanuel Macron calls on Russia to, quote unquote, cease military action in Ukraine. And you know what Russia did? Just stopped. Just stopped everything because Macron called on them. Is this what you would expect? And then why did he do this? Did he expect Russia to do what I just said that they did? Or is it just for us and for his voters? No, Macron sought to remind Russia, so like a teacher to a student, I remind you, Russia, of its, quotes, I'm quoting right now, commitment to compliance with the norms of international law. Doesn't that make you laugh? Commitment to compliance with the norms of international law. Really? Well, can I remind Mr. Macron something? In my humility, Mr. Macron, I remember that your country, was one of the countries that signed the Minsk agreements between the Luhansk and Donetsk on one side and Ukraine on the other one in 2014. And you, France, were the guarantors together with, I think it was Germany. You are the guarantors that Ukraine will implement the Minsk agreements. 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. Beginning. So you got about 8 years in which that document that was signed, the Minsk agreements, became international law, my dear Macron. How about that one? Let's go back to that one and then we can discuss this one too. But let's talk about that first. And then after we talk about that and we take your pants down, bend you over and na on your butt, then we're gonna talk about this one, okay? Oh, you don't want that. Why? Oh, because you're friends? Yeah, basically that's the answer. So, yeah, international law, which he said Russia violated when it invaded Ukraine on February 24th. As I said, you gotta go 8 years back, Macron. I know you like to start where you want it, and you like to pick and choose reality and actions. You don't go in a chronological way, because if you go in chronological way, one action, yields a counter action, all right, or consequence. So when you talk about the February 24th, and you just start there, like year zero, you can say that it was an unprovoked attack. The Russians are just bad. They violated international law, and they should go back. Yeah, if you start on the 24th, yeah, that's exactly right. And ignore certain statements made by the Russians in the meantime, reiterating what they said all along about Ukraine, about the provinces. But you don't want that, so you're going to ignore that. So see how it goes. And this Macron, does that in front of the whole world. Obviously, we can read it, right? And he tells Russia. Now, you imagine, all right, I'm not a Russian. I don't have the passion of a Russian being involved in this masquerade circus. And you hear this weasel saying what he's saying. How much passion you feel like exploding? Because I can put myself in a Russian in a Russian's shoes, like in his place, and think, what's going on here? But it's unbelievable. So it says that French President Emmanuel Macron on Tuesday called on Russia to cease all military action, withdraw its forces, and use all forms of diplomacy to protect Ukraine, its territory, and its future. Nice, very beautiful words. Empty. Beautiful. Very, very, how do they call Obama? Very articulated. Very articulated with flowers, but no content, no value. So, addressing a conference in Kiev with a televised statement, Macron sought to remind Russia of its commitment to compliance with the norms of international law, which he said Russia violated when he invaded Ukraine February 24. Macron also said that ramifications of the war were global. You made them global. You guys made them global. And yes, if he would not have invaded, then those Russians would have been probably bye-bye with them, NATO over there, and then would really be global. We would not have a conventional war anymore. And I'm quoting, of course, primarily this is the fight of the Ukrainian people for its independence and its freedom, but it's all about all of us. No, it's not. I'm not involved. Sorry, don't put me in there, in your little pig stall or whatever. No, I'm not in that. No. So Macron said, it destabilizes international norms and wills. Really? Did you participate in Yugoslavia? Huh, Macron? Your country? Did your country participate in Iraq? I know you were against one of these things. I think it was Iraq, though. Huh? So, did you call out United States? I know you want to ascend to the level of a house servant like Great Britain, but you're still on a plantation over there cutting, sugar cane. You can't be in the house with the master, United States. It's just Britain. You are trying, but you're not succeeding. Then there are humanitarian consequences in terms of energy and food supplies. You stuck your tail. And it says that all 30 NATO member states were represented at the summit. That's the Crimean Platform Summit. Was called by Ukraine to build up pressure on Russia over the 2014 annexation that has been denounced as illegal by most of the world. Well, it was done by referendum, and that's the most democratic way of choosing something. So I don't know what you're talking about. I think that's perfect. Instead of, invading other countries and deciding what's good for that country, bringing freedom and democracy, the barrel of a gun. Yeah, so, and then here is important because Zelensky is going down soon. You'll see. Ukraine's president has vowed to do all he can to bring back the peninsula of Crimea, annexed by Russia 7 years ago, and urge international allies to support the effort. But boy, Zelensky, they don't want to be with you. The people don't want to be, so why do you want to make them come? They don't want to come. Like Albanians in Kosovo, Kosovarians, they don't want to go in Serbia, and you're A-okay with that. But somehow you're not A-okay with the Crimeans, the Russians, who don't want to go, and they voted in the same way as Kosovarian, Albanians, whatever you want to call them, voted. So why is that? Where's international law? So see, that's why I do not take you seriously, Macron, because you are a hack. Yeah, nice words, very articulated, but nothing of really, value and content. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.